talked about getting better at surfing last year. So now you want to get better this year. So you would not say next year because you are in the next year, the year to improve. So you would say this year, I want to get better this year. For example, it is 2022.
今日は英語修理店のエピソードです。英語を勉強している日本人が英語の間違いを正してくれないかと尋ねました。これを実際の会話英語で行ってみます。
Thank you for that awesome introduction and welcome back everybody to the Social English Podcast. Today, we have another exciting and interesting English repair shop episode. A Japanese listener asked if I can help with their English. Of course, I said yes. So today, we will correct their English together. They want to talk about their hobby, which is surfing. So, that's what we're going to do in today's episode. Okay? So they're talking about surfing. So please remember the topic is surfing. Now, for today's episode, remember your skill level in English should be about intermediate, which is medium, to advanced, which is a high level. Okay? So that's where your skill level should be for today's episode. So, before we get started, here is a little introduction into how we're going to correct this English today.
すべての英語修理店のエピソードと同様に4つのパートがあります。パート1では英語を勉強している日本人が間違っていったことを正確に聞くことができます。パート2では会話型のソーシャルイングリッシュスタイルで正しい英語を聞くことができます。パート3ではパーシーはあなたが同じ過ちを犯さないようにするために彼が重要だと考えるヒントをあなたに与えます。パート4でパーシーは正しい英語版を高速で自然な速度で言います。このようにしてネイティブの速度で英語を聞く練習をすることもできます。
So part 1, we're going to correct 3 sentences. Okay, so here's part 1. 1. Last surfing 2021. 2. I practiced surfing well more than last year. 3. I want get better at surfing next year. Here is that one more time, just English only. Last surfing 2021. I practiced surfing well more than last year. I want get better at surfing next year. Let's go to part 2. This is the correct English in a social English conversational English, but at a slow speed. Here is part 2. Let's begin. 1. This was my last surfing trip of 2021. 2. That year, I got better because I was able to practice surfing more than before. 3. I want to continue to get better at surfing this year. Okay, so that is the corrected English version. Now let me say that again one more time. Just the English only. Here we go. 聞いてください. This was my last surfing trip of 2021. That year, I got better because I was able to practice surfing more than before. I want to continue to get better at surfing this year. Okay, maybe you use some of the same words that I used. Maybe you changed it differently. But please remember, I'm using a social English, conversational English, but with a social English way, or a way of speaking with social English. More of a really relaxed, normal, modern, the way we speak conversations now. So, let's move on to part 3. Here are my hints. Hints, my tips, my tricks, my hints to help you not make these mistakes. Okay, don't use well. And in Japanese, well is jozu. Okay, yes, jozu. So don't use well this way. So in English and in Japanese, I believe jozu is going to be used a little bit differently in this sentence, speaking about surfing. Okay, so instead, use I got better. I became better. Okay, I got better because I did this and I got better. I got better because I practiced more. I got better because I studied more. Or I got better because I finally understand this trick, or something like that. So you want to use I got better because, especially when speaking to someone. Okay, so please use conversational I got better because when you speak to someone. Okay. Second hint, hint number 2. Better at surfing last year. So now you want to get better this year. So you would not say next year, because you are in the next year, the year to improve. So you would say this year, I want to get better this year. For example, it is 2022. If I say I want to get better next year, I am saying I want to get better starting in 2023. So the year 2023 is when I want to start getting better. But we know this is not what we want. We want to start getting better now, because we already got better last year, so we want to continue getting better from this year too. So that's why we use this year and not next year, okay? So please use that. Also, here's my third hint. You should use the word continue so that people that you're listening to, like myself, if you were speaking to me in English, use the word continue so I understand that you want to get better even more than you did last year. You want to continue to get better. So just adding the word, if you add the word continue, it improves the meaning to me or to any native English speaker who is listening to your story in the conversation, okay? So it's important to use that. Okay, So let's move on to part 4. Let's move on to part 4. And in part 4, I will say the English at a fast speed, or what some people call natural speed of English, okay? Native speed, okay? So please listen to this. I will say it twice. Here we go. Let's start. This was my last surfing trip of 2021. That year, I got better because I was able to practice surfing more than before. I want to continue to get better at surfing this year. Okay, please listen. Here it is one more time. Please listen carefully. This was my last surfing trip of 2021. That year, I got better because I was able to practice surfing more than before. I want to continue to get better at surfing this year.
このショーを気に入っていただけたら5つ星のレビューをぜひお願いします。コメントは英語か日本語でお書きいただければ喜んで読ませていただきます。リアルソーシャルイングリッシュ .com にアクセスしてぜひ無料でダウンロードしてください。ほとんどの日本人の英語を勉強している人がやってしまいがちな7つの間違いとその正しい言い方、また毎日英語を上達させるのに役立つ資料もたくさんあります。Apple Podcast、Google Podcast、Stitcher、そして今はパンドラでもポッドキャストを購読いただけます。支援者になっていただけませんか？私たちがこのショーを作るための支援として5ドルの寄付をお願いできませんか？今後のエピソードで感謝の気持ちをお伝えします。またそこでしか利用できない新しいコンテンツも入手できます。patreon.com/socialenglish からご参加ください。ソーシャルメディアで私たちのポッドキャストを友達にシェアしたり、Twitter、Facebook、Instagram のフォローをお願いします。
And there you have it, everyone. That is what we accomplished today. We helped someone, and you did too as well. Help someone correct their English. Thanks for helping me and joining me correct that English today. You should be happy because that's what we did. Remember, this is a Japanese person studying and learning English just like you. I hope that you did learn something that you can use for yourself today. Maybe some of my hints helped you as well. My action item for you today is to try and practice telling a story of how you can speak English better using more than in your sentence. I want you to substitute for surfing as the person we helped today with the word English. Try to practice with a Japanese friend that speaks English, or, if you are lucky, a native English speaker. Don't forget to listen to episodes 126 through 131 about beginning conversations and how to make one. If you like this episode, don't forget to subscribe and follow us. Also, please leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. I'd really appreciate it. Do you want to win 5,000 yen in Amazon gift cards? It's easy. This is how you do it. All you need to do is do these 3 things. Subscribe to the podcast, follow us on Instagram, and leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. That's it. You will automatically be entered into our contest. I will announce the winner live on Instagram. So I will see you in the next episode. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Peace and love.
今日は楽しい時間をありがとうございました。ぜひ私たちのウェブサイト realsocialenglish.com を訪問して日本語訳と役立つ情報を 手に入れてください。また次回お会いしましょう。バイバイ。See you next time. Bye bye.